Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are talking all about hormone balance and how to do it naturally. If you're new to my channel and you haven't seen my video on how I got my period back naturally, then I definitely recommend going and watching that one first. I'll put it in one of these corners. I always forget which one it is, but it's one of these right here. So definitely go watch that one first and then come back here and watch this one, that we can get more information on seed cycling and just how to do it properly. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this video and talk about what seed cycling is. As females, we naturally need a good balance of progesterone and of estrogen and a little bit of testosterone. However, a lot of lifestyle factors and just a lot of endocrine disruptors can cause our period to not be on cycle, and it can cause it to be missing, it can cause it to be late, and it can cause just a lot of other issues, which if you go and watch that video or you've watched it, then you knew that I had a lot of issues. However, I have successfully gotten it back now. So this is where seed cycling enters in. So during our cycle, we have 4 different phases. So you have your menstrual phase first, and that's whenever it first starts out. Then you have your follicular phase, then you have your ovulatory phase, and then you have your luteal phase. However, whenever we're talking about seed cycling, we're only focused on 2 phases, and that is your follicular phase and then your luteal phase. So your follicular phase consists of your menstrual cycle and then the rest of that 14-day period, and then your luteal phase consists of your ovulatory phase and the rest of that 14-day period. So it's divided into 2 14-day halves for a total of 28 days, because that's the natural cycle of a woman. However, if you're like me right now, it's a little bit off and it's going a little bit longer than just 28 days. So what seed cycling does is that it uses seeds that are specific in oils and in nutrients in order to naturally balance out your progesterone and your estrogen in order to what they need to be for each of those phases. So during your follicular phase, which comes first, you want to take 1 tablespoon of flaxseed and 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seeds, or it may be labeled peptidas at your grocery store like it is mine. And what this is going to do is that it's going to naturally balance out that estrogen and progesterone. So flax seeds are actually extremely good at balancing out hormones naturally because they have a compound in them called lignans, which I'll put that on the screen right here, which basically have an estrogenic effect by balancing out that progesterone and estrogen, like I said. So then during your second 14 days, which is your luteal phase, you're going to want to take 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds and 1 tablespoon of sunflower seeds, which are extremely high in omega-6s, and so this is going to help naturally balance out your progesterone. So I usually take, whenever I'm in my follicular phase, I usually put my flaxseed inside of my smoothies every single morning, and then I usually just take my pumpkin seeds by the handful or by the tablespoonful and eat them because they're that good to me. But then I really don't like throwing a tablespoon of sesame seeds into my mouth, so usually I'll throw those in like a stir fry for lunch whenever I'm in that phase, and I'll throw in the sunflower seeds as well into my lunch. So now let's kind of get into how to specifically use these seeds. So whenever you're going to use these seeds, it's actually best to grind them up. So with your flaxseed especially, you want to make sure that you're grinding them up whenever you make a smoothie, or go ahead and grind them up, put them in a mason jar, and then stick them in the fridge. However, you want to make sure that you don't make ahead too much of a batch. So make sure that you're only making ahead 1 to 2 days worth. That way they don't oxidize and go bad. Now, I don't keep my pumpkin seeds or my sunflower seeds or my sesame seeds in the fridge. If you want to, you can. It probably does keep them a little bit fresher, but I buy really small containers of them, so I'm usually buying them every single phase that I go through. Now, you also want to make sure that you're buying these seeds organically, because if you actually look at certain seeds in a grocery store, sometimes a lot of ingredients and unnecessary ingredients like that are added into nuts and seeds that you wouldn't think they are. And I know that organic can be a lot more expensive sometimes, but you need to think of this as your medicine. You spend $20 to $100 on medicine all the time to take monthly, so why are you not going to spend that same amount on seeds in order to bring your period back naturally? And I also treat taking these seeds like medicine. So I write down on a note, make sure to take your seeds, because it's not just like you're eating seeds here and there. I'm taking this in order to keep my period natural and in order to balance out my hormones naturally. Now, you also want to make sure that you're getting plain and raw seeds. So make sure they're not roasted or salted or anything. You really just want the absolute plain you can get. Now, I can't find peptidas that aren't salted at my grocery store, which are also pumpkin seeds. So I do get the salted, which is better than nothing. But if you can ultimately find raw and plain, then definitely do that. So now the question is, does it really work? So personally, I really do think it works because I got my period back, obviously, but I was doing other things with it. Now, I would love to experiment and see if I could get my period back naturally with just doing the seed cycling, which I probably will do in a couple of months, but right now I really just want to try and keep a good period as long as I can. But I personally know a lot of people, and I've read people who have done it and they've had success with it, and I really do think that it is beneficial. So I definitely recommend trying it, and I will will say, whenever I got a little bit off track of not doing this, I did notice I was having a little bit more of a hormonal breakout down here around my chin. So I definitely do think that they work, and I definitely recommend it to you if you haven't tried it yet. Okay, so this was a little bit of a shorter video, but I really just wanted to try to get to the point as best as I could. That way you're not just sitting here listening to me mindlessly talk, because I can talk a lot all the time. But I definitely, like I said, recommend trying this if you haven't tried it already. And if you haven't watched my video on how to get your period back naturally, then I definitely recommend that one. Once again, I'll put it up here. And then I also did a Q&A of people asking me questions on my Instagram, and I answered all those questions, which that video is right after the how I got my period back naturally video. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions for me, then definitely leave them in the comments down below, or you can message me on Instagram. So I'll put my Instagram right here. It is just Carly S. Deaton, so definitely go check me out. And if you have any other type of video recommendations that you would like me to do or to talk about, then definitely let me know.